Let's move on. Before we go to closing statements, I've got one more question I want to throw y'all's way. Maybe it's something you haven't been asked during this campaign season. Maybe it is. I don't know. But y'all have obviously learned a lot about each other. So in this final question, I want you to talk about each other. And this ain't no viral pit each other against. So we'll start this time, Ms. Bright. This is for you to start. Talking about Ben and JT here. What do you think Ben and JT bring to the table that Trussville voters might value if they were elected? And on the other side of that, where do their platforms maybe have room for improvement?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
It hasn't been asked, has it?
No. Sorry.
That was my goal.
You did a good job. I'll start with Councilor Short because I obviously know him the best. We've been together for 5 years and worked well together. Disappointed when he decided to run for mayor because I wanted to continue to work with him. But I will say Councilor Short's probably his best trait is he does have a lot of knowledge. He is obviously an investigator, so he investigates and he reads and he retains knowledge very well. Where an area that the second part was to
it was just where do their platforms maybe have room for improvement?
Our platforms are very similar, but I think our approaches are different when it comes to when and if we get to make a new hire. So my approach is through economic development. I think that is key, because that is going to bring in revenue to the city. So I think where we differ on approaches of accomplishing our plans is Councilor Short is looking more towards a public relations person, which does help with communications. Sure. But I think if I've got a list of priority, it's going to have to be economic development, because that's what's going to bring in the revenue that we need for the city to be able to move forward. It's going to help us build the strategic plan. It's all in layers. So building that plan out from planning and regionally and strategically overall of Trussville, being able to implement that plan. A mayor's job is extremely busy. We've got 300 to 350 employees, depending on where it falls in the next few months. Early retirement and summer jobs rolling off. We've got to have someone that can spend a lot of time on that. That's an extensive piece that I feel like Trussville is missing. So our things that that will complement Councilor Short on is he does retain a lot of knowledge. I think what I have that counters that is I have a lot of wisdom because of life and knowing how to maybe work with people, talk with people. I think those are my strengths, and I think that would be something that we just maybe might differ on just a little.
Okay. And now about Mr. Smallwood.
I don't know Mr. Smallwood very well. And so I will say you came in on this campaign kind of in a negative tone. So if I have to go that way, I just have to go that way. So coming in and accusing council of doing X, Y, and Z as far as, spending money, on your sheet, you passed a garbage fee, you passed a sales tax, called Councilor Short and I rhinos, Republicans, in name only, which is an acronym for rhino. I'm not a rhino. My daddy took me to vote when I was 18 years old, and I voted for Ronald Reagan, and I have voted Republican my entire life. So when you or your campaign, whichever it is, comes in and makes negative connotations like that, that doesn't sit well with people that have been serving for 5 years in this place. Now, your attributes, you understand taxes. You definitely have that is very positive for possibly things in Trussville. But like I say, I don't know you, and you came in on a negative tone, so it's hard for me to come out and to know what to say that would be positive in a mayor's position other than what you currently do with your job as tax collector. I'm sure you're a good person. I think that maybe that's the politics involved in you being a politician for so many years, that's your approach in entering a race and entering a race late where, well, late compared to what we did, which was probably early.
Oh, early.
Very early. But that's because we have a passion for this city.
Sure.
We have both worked hard in this city. And so, yes, your finance and your understanding of taxes, possibly some of your connections, although I'm very connected as well in the state and definitely in the D.C. area, which will definitely help bring funding, especially for roads, back to Trussville, and I think that's very important, and I may have more of a corner on that market than my other two opponents. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. All right, we'll move to Ben. Same question. What do Lisa and JT bring to the table that Trussville voters would value? And on the other side of that, where do their platforms maybe have room for improvement?
It's hard, isn't it?
This is a, so I'll start with Mr. Smallwood. I think in terms of, our passion for the city, I think that's evident with all three of us. Whoever is elected as mayor, it's evident that we all care about this community. I think from a platform standpoint, the uncertainty in relation to the elected versus appointed school board, I know you're still working through that, right? So we differ there for sure. An appointed school board is the way to go, in my opinion. So that's a platform difference for sure. I have approached this campaign in a positive way this entire time. So I'm going to continue to do that. I don't think that there's a reason to take a negative approach to this. So let me talk about some positive attributes about Mr. Smallwood. And I'll say I am an investigator. I'm a researcher. I am someone who operates in the background, worked for an intelligence unit. I was fortunate enough to be assigned to the Jefferson County Metro Area Crime Center and worked intelligence for a number of years for the Trussville Police Department. And it's all about developing relationships with individuals, and that's how you acquire information and get things done, right? And I think that that's a benefit that you have. You have 20 plus years of relationships at Jefferson County. I think that there's an advantage to that. And I would also say you are a very well respected and liked individual in the circles that I have communicated with about you. So now I'll go over to Councilor Bright. In terms of policy differences, you're right. We are pretty close in our approach. And so again, I think communication style is different. I think while I do want to bring in a public relations director, I think city planning is my primary focus. That would be number one for me. The public relations addition is to just improve communication, because I think we can be effective in that. And I think there's a benefit on the economic development side too, but we do differ there. That is your priority. That is a skill set that you have. And your connections in Washington, that is undeniable. That's what separates us. I have, whereas I've been a city employee and know the inner workings of the city probably better, your connections in DC and the state are unmatched, in my opinion. So, and in terms of just the respect I have for you, both of us running for mayor is a little awkward. I know I frustrated you. So, but again, it comes down to we both care about this city, and that's undeniable. So I want people to see that. The respect that I have for you, Lisa, and your family and your foundation and what you've accomplished, that it's just an amazing. So does that answer it? I think that's probably the best way to leave it.
We'll move to Mr. Smallwood. Same thing. What do Lisa and Ben bring to the table that Trussville voters would value, and where do you see potential improvement in their platforms?
I think I've had one conversation with Lisa, and I walked away understanding that she is a zealous advocate for addictions, and I think that is remarkable, and I applaud her involvement. I applaud her resolve in pushing through the barriers and the layers and creating understanding in our community. I think that's just remarkable. And I'm a very close friend of her son-in-law's. He's been my dentist for many, many years, and the entirety of my family. And, I have his number, and if there's ever a dental emergency, he always responds like that. So she comes from a remarkable family, and I honor that family and the work that you have. And I appreciate all you do for the city. And sometimes spirited debate and campaigns sometimes push nerves, but there's never any intent from my point. I want to see good governance in the city like you do. Ben, you're a remarkable young man. I think that you're great. I think you're good at what you do. I think you're very intelligent. I think you're very smart. And I think you have the best heart as does Lisa for the city, and you want to see it go forth. I don't make any apologies about my history. My dad was the first full-time prosecutor in the city of Birmingham. He rose to be awarded one of the top 8 judges in America. I come from a law enforcement background. So I've been around for a while, but on that journey, I've gathered wisdom, I've gathered experiences. Any given time, I've been a resource to teach and to learn from mayors. Go to lunch with them all the time, all over this county, and they're all probably fighting the same battle: budget restrictions, resources, and it's about drawing upon our experiences, drawing upon our wisdom, drawing upon our heart for these people. And I think any one of us three would do a marvelous and wonderful job in that. Either one of us three. And I want to pledge my support. If you were to win, I'm going to be your advocate. If you were to win, I'm going to be your advocate. And I think we can find common ground. I think we can find things that we all agree upon to push forward. We may have our differences, but you know what? This city comes first. These people come first. The public responders come first. Our school kids come first. Let's put those ahead of our politics and pledge to work together in whatever capacity we find ourselves in at the end of this election.
Any room for improvement in their platforms?
You know, we can all grow. We can all, acquire wisdom on our journey, and I think that we all are. So I'm not going to cast these persons upon their skill set. They come fully ready to go. We just have sometimes differences of opinion, but they're quite capable, and their acumens are quite successful. So I applaud both of them. I'm glad we have 3 good candidates running for mayor.
Wasn't that therapeutic for all 3 of you? A nice little moment.
Kumbaya.
Kumbaya. All right.